Welcome all to a new year with the warmest greetings. I hope you all had a lovely time with your friends and family in this festive season. Thank you all once again for joining us in the new year. So, this time the stage is all set for another fascinating interaction. And for those who are with us for the first time today, the V Talk brings to you the most prominent industry voices as they share precious experiences and insights with us about what's happening in the HR ecosystem, what changes we should look forward to, and most importantly, what's keeping the HR leaders on their toes. So, at our first session of this new year today, we have a very special guest joining us. She's Madhu Menon, Director Talent Acquisition, Deloitte India. With that, a very warm welcome, Madhu.
Hi, thank you so much, Besaki, for having me here.
So, a quick introduction about Madhu before we start. Madhu is a passionate HR professional with over 20 years of experience in driving various talent roles like talent acquisition and development for product and services centric firms in consulting, IT, engineering, airlines, and international trade. She has been a people and a business evangelist, enabling talent to be a catalyst for the business to achieve its goal through quality of hires, talent development, through readiness for next levels. That also comes with inclusive hiring, succession planning, and employer branding. In her current role at Deloitte India as a Director Talent Acquisition, she leads the entire value chain of hiring across business firm, wide for campus, laterals, as well as gig hiring. With that, once again, a very warm welcome, Madhu. It is indeed a delight to have you with us today.
Pleasure is all mine, Besaki. Thanks for a good introduction.
Looking forward to a great discussion today, Madhu. So
Same
to
here.
start off, so to start off with today's discussion and to setting the context, my first question for you would be, according to you and your industry demands, what type of skill shortage do you think is causing the recent talent war? If you could share your thoughts on that and help us set the context for today's discussion.
Sure, Besaki. I think enough and more has been always got discussed with various industries in India specifically. The demand per se of talent is not only from India, but what we can see is that a lot of global firms are really depending on India talent. And where NASCOM studies and other studies are basically reflecting that this gap will continue until 2026. I think as per NASCOM, we will have 14 lakhs to 19 lakhs as a talent gap, which would continue in India. So I feel this is a problem statement which all the organization and why to exclude a Big Four from that or a consulting firm. So when we see these firms are now competing with each others, we can see that all industries, whether it is a consulting or a Big Four industry or whether it is IT giants, they're competing with each other for the same talent in the market. So the talent gap is coming from those new age skills which are not so many, and the demand supply chain of the problem statement continues because we are competing between each other. And what we have seen also that the new startups which have joined in last 1 year, 2,500 odd new startups which are also looking for these kind of technology hires. It is also expanding the gap in the talent market with regards to the skills. In terms of the skills which are really for Deloitte perspective, which are creating these kind of gaps, are of course those new age technology skills like AI, ML, and analytics, cyber security, which is our premium skill. We also are highly depending on cloud engineering and Oracle, SAP kind of a skill. Alongside what we have seen now, which is growing, which is ESG and sustainability, which the entire industries are right now looking at the sustainability and the ESG version of roles, where we do not have talent so much in the market, and therefore the gap continues. But it's very interesting to see how in this market, we all will be able to get our share, where we know that the next generation which we are getting, they will all be, as per a study of Gallup, 50% of the workforce is not going to continue in one organization for more than a year, which means we really have to do something for retaining these talent also in our organization and keep on leveraging the skills they have adopted, or maybe upskilling and skill them with the technologies which we really want them to adopt. One thing I feel which is really a cause in India specifically, which is adding to this gap, is because of our institutes, our campuses, where technology uh, trainings are still in a flailing kind of a situation. The systems are not as enhanced as how it is required in our professional services. And what we see is that the people who come from even those institutes, we really have to work on them in terms of training them. These are people who come with theoretical skills. And I think going forward, this requires to be tightened in India to get more and more skilled professionals from institute, and therefore corporates like us going to institutes and campus and getting this skill trend. I think that would help in addressing to this gap. That's a few bites from my side.
Perfect. Indeed, you have shared some really good data points, which kind of gives us a very clear picture as to where we are standing right now. So, Madhu, I would like to know one thing. When we talk about soft skill, it is something very important for any employee's journey in an organization. So, talking about soft skills, how do you see the importance of soft skills evolving in the near future?
It's very, very important now. As I said, that we would have new generation coming in. We already have got millennials who have entered into corporates. Our millennials in Deloitte specifically have reached to even managers and above kind of a level. And what we see the next generation, which is going to come, is Gen Z. And with this new generation, which is going to come and join us, it's all the more important for organizations like us to cultivate the need of soft skills, because I think alongside of technical skills is very important for our talent of today to cultivate new soft skills which are prevalent in where hybrid is the way of work which may continue for a longer time, where we really require people to be more empathetic, and at levels basically soft skills will be applied. So maybe at a junior level, we can say that collaboration will continue to be one of the skills which we will have to harness. Communication is very much important. It's important to have critical thinking, also problem solving, where it is important for them to sustain in an environment which is more challenging. New generation are people who really want instant things, and managing a crucial conversation is something which would be very important for them. And then if I really segment it to a leadership level, it is very important for a leadership to be servant leadership. Today, it is service industries mostly, and servant industries require to be servant leadership specific. Making your own brand at a senior level from manager upwards, which is very, very important to be visible in the market. Thought leadership, which is very, very important. One of a very important subject in soft skills, which I feel it is across, but more prevalent for leadership level, is diversity of thought. We all talk about diversity, but somehow I think larger focus in coming years would be in soft skills, where we would be largely, enhancing our diversity of thought area of soft skill. Why? Because the generation which comes with a different perspective, if we really cannot leverage them with the kind of thought process they bring in, and we can't change and be resilient to that, it really can impact us larger. And therefore, preparing for the future generation through diversity of thought will really go a long way, which is very, very important for us. So I will segment it into two parts. I think at a junior level, it will be more on executive presence, communication skills, which will continue. Alongside, it will be emotional intelligence, because the new generation is quite heavily dependent on their emotional intelligence. And in a leadership level, it's combination of brand building, coaching skills, servant leadership, authentic leadership, thought leadership, which should be the soft skills which should be coming our ways.
That's some very good points that you've pointed on, and I loved how you weaved in the concept of soft skill along with the new generation. In fact, my next question would have been to you regarding the next generation only. So you have already pointed out how the next generation is all set in for a different perspective altogether. So if I may ask, that you have been in the industry for so long and you have seen, generations coming and going. So what is your take on the new generation entering the workforce, and how do you think their expectations differ from that of the previous generation?
Yeah, this is very interesting. And because this is human science and it is very close to my heart, because I have, of course, this experience brings me to see that every generation has so much to learn from, and why to go outside, only into a professional world to experience that at our own house. If you have your son or your daughter who's like a teenage, and we know that this is the generation which is going to hit the professional market soon, you can very well see the kind of expectation they hold, and it's very, very real, and I feel it. And therefore, whatever I say right now on this subject will is something which is very close and very closely monitored. So the generation which was there earlier, which we have seen growing and we have grown in that, it was little stickiness was more. There was longevity of looking at a as a place. We wanted to grow and see that place also growing, and our vision was more stable. We were looking for stability more, and that's the generation we come from, and we have seen our earlier generation. The millennial generation is something which we have right now, and as I said, it has grown up to a manager level. What we see them is they are people who want constant recognition, they want to be relevant, they want good compensation, they want work-life balance, they want things which can make them more comfortable in terms of their rewards and recognition, and there is a level of maturity and a balance which they can create. But the next generation which is coming is quite high on their social activism. We see them all over the place on social media. They are more current than us. We really have to compete with their intelligence because they will keep on getting upgraded. They are people who would require instant gratification. They are not somebody who would take something for a longer time. So the complete shift from our generation to this coming generation will be on the longevity, where we need to be prepared as leaders that the coming generation who's going to be our talent, they require to be nurtured in a very, very constant manner and very quickly, proactively to the new skills. Whatever they have learned in past, it's not something they can live it for more. And as I said, Gallup study says that we will have these people moving in very quickly in their careers. So skilling and giving them gamification in everything what they do, because they are all on their gadgets. They are very friendly to all gadgets and technologies. They would like to get upskilled very quickly. And compensation will be one part that can really stick them to our firm. But I think more than that, what they would require is empathy. They would look for people to invest in them, for them to grow, and they would like to see results coming in very quickly. The career graphs which we used to have earlier for progression, and there used to be a tenure based. That's something which will not go with the new generation. So very clearly, there is a complete shift. They know what they want. They're very clear in their ask, and also they would like more life than only work. They would like to do multiple things at one point of time, and maybe by 2026, we'll see them not working in one job. They would like to do multiple jobs at one point of time. So I see that it's again more on organization to really work towards making our culture in a way so that we are adapting to the new generation which is coming and making our processes, our practices aligned to what they are looking for.
You're very rightly pointed out that talking about our generation and the existing generation right now, so there has been some element of stickiness when it comes to job. But I loved how you pointed out as to the new generation is looking more towards life and less towards the remuneration part, because empathy is something that's gonna probably rule the next generation, and companies need to have their strategies aligned in order to attract these talents in the coming days. So Madhu, when we talk about the new generation, so and their expectations as to how that is shifting, they want to venture out into multiple jobs. So one thing that comes to our mind instantly is the work setup that we have currently right now. So owing to COVID, there has been a lot many changes already. A lot many companies went to a virtual first. Some are into hybrid mode. So how are your employee engagement strategies working, especially when we talk about this remote and hybrid work setup?
attention towards that because we are not meeting our talent so often. It's very much important, and we have also rolled out hybrid like other firms and other consulting firms. Last 1.5 years, we are on hybrid, and there was a requirement of having touch points with our talent for them to feel connected. And as an organization, there was a conscious call on creating sub hubs which can really engage our people, even if we are not touching them live. But that it's quite effective tools which we have created in Deloitte, and one or two is something which is something which I can say that it's iconic for Deloitte to have these kind of platforms. So one of this which we have launched for Deloitte 1.5 years back for hybrid was something called Life School. So when you basically pronounce it, you can say life life is cool, but when you write, it's basically life cycle. So it's basically covering the entire life cycle of an employee, where the employee is connecting, they're also competing, and then they're also enjoying with the firm. It's a complete package of your physical and mental well-being. It gives you enough opportunities to have a lot of e-connects. It gives you opportunity to show your traits, to compete with your peer group, have a lot of games and things which you can do together, with your peer groups and your team members. It's something which keeps you alive. There are a lot of engagement programs which goes into this tool, which brings a lot of energy within the teams to work together. So this is one thing which is currently for engaging our team, in the hybrid model. The second one is eLive, where hobby clubs are created, where people who have hobbies and would like to, share those hobbies with others. There's something where we are constantly engaging them, because as I said that, stress levels and anxiety levels were very high in the COVID times, and we were not meeting. To relax them by giving them these tools were very, very important. And the best part about these tools are that they are all synced to your mobiles. You don't have to log into your laptops. These are things which we have implemented alongside of your skip levels, focus group meetings, your one-on-one with the leaders. Also to address the mental well-being, there has been a helpline, which is, to meet the counselor 24/7. You have one-on-one sessions with the counselor to help in your need, which is important. So I think most of these sessions and the initiatives are around for your happiness quotient. This is about your emotional intelligence quotient, where we really want our employees to be happy while they are working, because when we are not seeing them, all what we want them is to be happy in what they are doing. So these are some engagements which are over and above those traditional engagements which we have consciously adopted in Deloitte, and it's working very well. We are looking for much more engagements in the coming times. I think those will be exciting times.
Thank you so much, Madhu, for sharing how Deloitte as an organization is taking all measures to keep employees engaged in the turmoiling setup that we are going through. So with that, we come to the end of today's discussion. Thank you so much, Madhu, for sharing your fantastic knowledge with us. I absolutely loved conversing with you, and I'm sure our viewers gained many important insights as well as from this discussion today. So once again, thank you all for joining us today. We'll be back with yet another exciting conversation and a new guest next week. Till then, stay safe, everyone. Have a happy weekend and keep talking.